Welcome, my dear learners. In today's session, we will study and understand about financial statements of companies. This is chapter 1 from B part. The learning outcomes of this chapter are meaning of financial statements, what are the types of financial statements, what is the purpose of preparing financial statements, next, the benefits of preparing financial statements, and finally, the parties which are interested in the financial statements of companies. Statements. It is a summary of all the financial or monetary transactions which take place during one financial year. It contains the entire information about the sources of funds, the application of funds, where the funds have come from, where the funds have been invested, what are the sources of inflow, what are the sources of outflow, how much profits business has earned, what are various expenditure, what are the losses, and from where the losses have come in. So broadly it is split into three parts, that is balance sheet, another aspect income statement, and the cash flow statement. Series of steps like identifying the monetary transactions, recording of monetary transactions, classifying, summarizing, analyzing, interpreting, and reporting. Therefore, financial statements are the end product or final product of the entire accounting process of a firm or a company during its financial year. As per Section 2, subsection 40 of Companies Act 2013, financial statements broadly include three parts, that is, statement of profit and loss, which gives us our position of profit and loss. Therefore, it is also known as income statement. Second part is balance sheet, which tells us about our status of assets and liabilities. So it is known as position statement. Companies Act 2013 makes it mandatory for every company to support its balance sheet along with notes to accounts. Finally, the cash flow statement also falls under the financial statements category, which reveals the inflow and outflow of cash from three different sources. Companies Act 2013, Section 129 requires that companies are supposed to prepare their financial statements as prescribed in Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. This section, let us have an overview about three financial statements. We have already discussed that there are three types of financial statements, that is balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement. Balance sheet contains entire detail of all the assets, liabilities, and equity of any firm or a company, where assets are denoted by A, liabilities are denoted by L, and internal equity is denoted by capital letter E. Income statement is also known as statement of profit and loss. Statement of profit and loss mainly contains the entire history of all the revenues, direct or indirect, and expenses, either they are direct or indirect, during a particular financial year, where if our revenues they exceed the expenses, then the business earns or enjoys profit. So the formula remains profit, which is represented by P, is equal to R revenue minus expenses denoted by E. And if the situation is vice versa, means हमारे expenses ज़्यादा हैं and revenues कम हैं. That means expenses minus revenue, that situation would be a case of loss. Finally, cash flow statement. Cash flow statement contains the entire history of movement of the cash within the business. The inflow or outflow of cash during a particular financial year is shown or recorded in the cash flow statement, where cash inflow represents the positive value and cash outflow represents the negative value. Financial year. It is generally a period of 12 months during which all the accounting process or books are maintained. Normally, this period can start from 1st of April to 31st of March every year, or even it can be first from 1st of January till 31st of December. But as per Companies Act 2013, all the companies are supposed to maintain the financial year from 1st of April to 31st March in order to ensure uniformity. While preparing financial statements, here are few core values which every organization is supposed to adhere to. As per Companies Act 2013, the companies must present true and fair view of their affairs. Means anything which is worthwhile, which is important, must be disclosed genuinely, honestly in the statements. Number two, there are accounting standards which need to be strictly followed according to the section 130. There is a prescribed format mentioned in the Companies Act to be followed while preparing the balance sheet as well as statement of profit and loss, that is Schedule 3. Generally, there are two formats of preparing the financial statements. Like in partnership, we follow horizontal method of preparing balance sheet, which has two hands. Left hand side of the balance sheet we show liabilities and right hand side we show the assets in case of partnership. Whereas in case of companies, we follow Schedule 3 and a vertical format. Under vertical format, there is only one hand. There are total 4 columns. Column 1 is about particulars, in which first of all we show all the liabilities of the company, and in the same column under the liabilities we show all the assets. Means in Schedule 3 Companies Act, while preparing बैलेंस शीट हम वर्टिकल फॉर्मेट फॉलो करते हैं और वर्टिकल फॉर्मेट में देयर इज ऑलवेज वन हैंड. पर्टिकुलर्स का एक ही कॉलम है, उसी कॉलम में हम फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लाइबिलिटीज शो करते हैं एंड आफ्टर लाइबिलिटीज और अंडर लाइबिलिटीज वी शो ऑल दी एसेट्स according to the set format. Second column of the balance sheet according to vertical format is note numbers. Third column is current year value of assets and liabilities, and fourth column we have to show previous year values of assets and liabilities. For preparing balance sheet according to Schedule 3, we have to follow part 1. Balance sheet is prepared according to part 1 of Schedule 3, whereas statement of profit and loss is prepared according to part 2 of Schedule 3. For preparing balance sheet as well as statement of profit and loss, Schedule 3 ही follow करते हैं, but for balance sheet part 1 and for statement of profit and loss part 2. In addition to this, it is mandatory that every company has to submit its financial statements in front of all the shareholders during annual general meeting along with auditor's report and director's report. Now, let us understand various characteristics of financial statements. Number one, financial statements are a historical document. Means in financial statements we record only those informations which had already happened, जो past में हो चुकी हैं. All the transactions are recorded in financial statements. Number two, in financial statement we record only quantitative information in terms of money. Anything which cannot be quantified is not recorded in financial statements. Qualitative information like honesty, sincerity, dedication, hard work, ऐसी information financial statements में नहीं record की जाती. Whereas financial statements we prepare balance sheet which tells us about the position of the business and statement of profit and loss which reveals the profitability of the business. Next point under consideration is nature of financial statements. Financial statements की nature कैसी रहती है? As discussed earlier, number one, it is based on historical concept. Therefore, only recorded facts are noted in it. It follows the accounting conventions as well as postulates. While framing financial statements, हमारी कुछ accounting principles हैं, हमारे कुछ accounting conventions हैं, कुछ assumptions हैं और set formats हैं, उन्हीं को follow करते हुए financial statements prepare की जाती हैं. Objectives of financial statement. What is the basic purpose behind preparing financial statements? तो हर businessman है is always interested to know his earning capacity, that how much profits or losses he has earned during the year. Therefore, financial statements help us and provide us the information about the earning capacity of business. Number two, financial statements also tell us about the economic resources and the obligations of an enterprise. यहाँ पे economic resources का means the assets which the business is holding with them and the obligation means our liabilities. business के पास कितने assets हैं जो business owe कर रहा है and कितनी liabilities हैं जो business ने discharge करनी है. These are also shown in financial statements under the head balance sheet. Financial statement also tells us about the movement of the cash in a business during a particular financial year. That means how much cash has flown in business and how much cash has gone out of business. ये सारी inflow outflow of cash की information हमें cash flow statement के through मिलती है. हर बिजनेसमैन अपने बिजनेस को लेकर बहुत सारी स्ट्रैटेजीज बनाता है, बहुत सारे डिसीजंस लेते हैं एंड ऑल दीज इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज एंड डिसीजंस आर फॉर्म्ड ओनली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ financial statements. Further, there are many investors and there are many interested parties in a particular business or an enterprise. Even their strategies, their decision making is also dependent upon the financial statements of the business. These are major financial objectives of any financial statement. Let's move on to the next concept, that is uses and importance of financial statements. हमारी financial statements की क्या uses हैं और उनकी क्या importance है. Number one, that report on stewardship function. It tells us about all the physical policies. It will also be made on the basis of granting credit. It is also from the point of view of prospective investors कि जो हमारी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स हैं वो इन सब चीज़ों को इनकॉर्पोरेट करनी चाहिए. हमारी फाइनेंशियल पॉलिसीज़ क्या हैं, हमारे लोन्स या क्रेडिट की पॉलिसीज़ क्या हैं, हमारे प्रोस्पेक्टिव इन्वेस्टर्स जो हैं वो उनकी नीड्स को फुलफिल करें, एंड इट शुड इवन add value to the investors who have already made the investments in the company. It should even help to all the trade association or all the members which are associated with any particular organization. There are certain limitations also of financial statements. Number one, financial statements, they are based on the accounting concepts and conventions which can involve some type of personal bias. For example, जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स अकाउंटेंट चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स बना रहे हैं, उनके अपने अपने प्रिंसिपल्स, अपने अपने कन्वेंशंस हो सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, ए बी सी लिमिटेड कंपनी के चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट प्रोविजन ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन लगा रहे हैं 10%, प्रोविजन ऑन डाउटफुल डेट लगा रहे हैं 5%, वेयर एज सेम इंडस्ट्री में देर इज एन एक्स वाई जी लिमिटेड कंपनी, उनका चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट प्रोविजन फॉर डेप्रिसिएशन चार्ज कर रहा है 20% और प्रोविजन फॉर डाउटफुल डेट्स कैलकुलेट कर रहा है ऑन 7% बेसिस. So there generally remains the judgmental or the personal bias which varies from the person to person, company to company, which makes the comparison little bit difficult. Another limitation is qualitative aspect, which is really important. एक कंपनी की सक्सेस के लिए उसके मैन पावर, उसकी एम्प्लॉयज़ के क्वालिटेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहते हैं, बट दे आर जनरली इग्नोर्ड वाइल प्रिपेयरिंग द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. Qualities like honesty, dedication, innovation, R&D is not taken into consideration while framing the financial statements. Next, the present value of assets and liabilities generally are ignored. Balance sheet are prepared on the basis of historical cost or on the basis of cost price, but day to day basis the price level keeps on changing. These fluctuations in the price level and in the value of assets and liabilities are generally not recorded. Last but not the least, it is based on historical data, means anything which has already happened is recorded, whereas anything what is likely to happen is not having any place in financial statements. We can categorize users under two heads: internal parties and the external parties. Internal parties can further be categorized into three subheads. First, owners. Second is management. Third is employees and workers. These three parties form part of internal parties who are interested in the financial statement of any company. Whereas if we talk about external or outsiders, these are government, tax authorities, they are investors, can be bankers or financial institutions, or our suppliers and creditors. These are outsiders or external parties which are interested in the financial statement of any company. Now let us understand one by one precisely. Management of the company. Management of the company comprises of mainly the CEO, the zonal, regional, territory managers, can be directors of the company. So of course they have to keep a hawk's eye on the financial statements of the company, क्योंकि वो कंपनी को ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, मैनेज कर रहे हैं, रन कर रहे हैं, एंड कंपनीज प्रोग्रेस प्रॉस्पेरिटी की सारी केयर करते हैं. देयरफॉर उनके लिए कंपनी की बैलेंस शीट, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस एज वेल एज कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहती हैं. नेक्स्ट, इन्वेस्टर्स. नाउ व्हाई आर इन्वेस्टर्स इंटरेस्टेड इन अवर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स? जब मैं वर्ड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स यूज करता हूं, दैट मीन्स three statements mainly: balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, and cash flow statement. So keep this thing in mind. इन्वेस्टर्स वो लोग हैं we who have invested or parked their funds in our company, maybe in the form of public deposits, maybe in the form of debentures, maybe in the form of equity or preference shares. Therefore, जो भी कंपनी के इन्वेस्टर्स हैं इधर एट अ लॉन्ग टर्म लेवल और एट शॉर्ट टर्म लेवल, वो सब इन्वेस्टर्स कंपनी की फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में इसलिए इंटरेस्टेड हैं क्योंकि उनको ये चेक करना है कंपनी में उनके फंड्स सेफ हैं, कंपनी की पोजीशन स्टेबल है, कंपनी का कैश फ्लो और अच्छा है, स्ट्रॉन्ग है, सॉलिड है, क्योंकि उनको कंपनी से अपनी वेल्थ एप्रिसिएशन भी लेनी है, उनको कंपनी से डिविडेंड्स इंटरेस्ट भी सिक्योर करने हैं. कस्टमर्स, ऑफ कोर्स customers are the important stakeholders for any organization, it may matter. So customers are always interested in financial statements of the company क्योंकि फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट से ही उनको पता चलेगा कि कंपनी की मार्केट में स्टेटस कैसा है, कंपनी ग्रोइंग स्टेज पे है, कंपनी डिक्लाइनिंग स्टेज पे है, कंपनी अपने प्रोडक्ट्स में कुछ इनोवेशन कर रही है, कंपनी क्या न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स लॉन्च कर रही है, कंपनी कहाँ पे अपने न्यू ऑफिसेस, न्यू एक्सपेंशंस, क्या प्लान्स हैं कंपनी के. दिस ऑल information is required by the customers. Competitors, of course competitors are very important for the growth of any business because हमारे competitors हमें indirectly मोटिवेट करते हैं अपने बिजनेस को और इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, एंड एज अ कॉम्पिटिटर हमें अपने दूसरे जो हमारे कंपटीशन में दूसरी फर्म्स हैं, दूसरी कंपनीज हैं, हमें उनकी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में इसलिए इंटरेस्ट है क्योंकि हमने अपनी स्ट्रैटेजीज, अपनी पॉलिसीज उनके साथ पेयर करके बनानी है सो दैट वी कैन एमर्ज एज अ मार्केट लीडर्स. हमारी पॉलिसीज, हमारी प्राइसिंग पॉलिसी, हमारी मार्केटिंग पॉलिसीज, हमारी क्रेडिट पॉलिसीज, ये सारी हम अपने कॉम्पिटिटर्स की फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को स्टडी करके उसकी कोऑर्डिनेशन के साथ बनाते हैं. Next, government and government agencies, like we have SEBI, there are so many regulatory bodies, SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India, Company Law Board, and there are various other agencies like Income Tax Department, Excise Department. They all have interest in the financial statements of companies because they have to charge tax, they have to see whether companies are following the norms, the rules, regulations laid for them. Suppliers are indirectly our lenders, or even we can connect the suppliers and lenders, we can club together because suppliers also have interest in our company. Suppliers are dependent not only for the money which the company owes to them, जो पैसा कंपनी ने सप्लायर्स को देना है उनका इंटरेस्ट सिर्फ इतने तक ही सीमित नहीं है. even suppliers growth is dependent upon company's growth. अगर कंपनी प्रॉस्पर कर रही है, कंपनी एक्सपैंड कर रही है, तो सप्लायर्स का भी फ्यूचर जो है वो सिक्योर है, ब्राइट है. वेयरएज अगर कंपनी डिक्लाइन कर रही है, इज प्लंजिंग डाउन, अच्छा नहीं परफॉर्म कर रही, तो सप्लायर्स के पैसों का भी रिस्क है एज वेल एज उनकी फ्यूचर सप्लाईज भी अफेक्ट होंगी. सिमिलरली इट इज़ द केस ऑफ लेंडर्स. जो क्रेडिटर्स हैं या जो शॉर्ट टर्म लेंडर्स हैं उन्होंने अपना प्रिंसिपल भी रिकवर करना है एज वेल एज उनको अपना इंटरेस्ट रिकवर करना है और उनको अपना फ्यूचर ग्रोथ कंपनी के साथ अलाइन करना है. Therefore, they are interested in the financial statements of companies. There are various rating agencies like CRISIL and others which generally do the rating of the companies according to their financial performances like A plus, A plus plus, A. This type of ratings are given by the credit rating agencies to the companies on the basis of their financial statements. Employees are most important stakeholders of any organization, it may matter. Employees की bread and butter is dependent upon the company. Therefore, if organization is prospering, is expanding, so their future, their bread and butter, their livelihood is secure. If the companies are downgraded, if the company's rating is low, So there is a risk that they may be laid off, they may lose their jobs, they may not be given appraisals, they may not receive the increments or hikes, and they may not get better perks. These are various internal and external parties or users who are interested in the financial statements of companies.